Welcome to the Grand Design Series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. We're picking up on the 18th of March 1939. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different from the normal because what I want to do is focus very much on planning a metro system over in our new town. The reasons for that I will go into more detail after I've given you a general update of what's been going on over the last few months since the end of the last video. And for that reason, what I'm going to be doing is keeping the game on pause because I don't want to be distracted by having to check for other game events, is probably the polite way of saying it, because I can almost guarantee if I'm going to concentrate on designing one specific thing, there's bound to be an earthquake. Anyway, before that, a bit of an update of where we are. I'm currently over the top of Ollerton, where I've got the cableway working, but at the moment I've got a little bit of a problem up here with respect to waste. And I'm trying to get the firefighters into here so that I can ensure that I get fire protection out here. Now, the other thing I also want to show you, in the last part we got some posh new engines, and those engines now are operational or in most of the fire stations around, simply because I'm trying to modernize it so I get improved fire coverage. And I think there's also this one here has got a full complement of fire. So this is the situation in Ollerton. We're still working on getting our pump. We got a couple of pump jacks built, but we're still kind of doing the pipe connections here. I think we got this built now. I'm not sure what I think this one, we need to get this finished so we can bring these oil pumps in. So we are kind of bringing together. This one doesn't have a power supply, but that's not a problem. We can always work in the power supply later on. I think this is probably out of range of this one, isn't it? Anyway, I'm getting distracted. I'll probably put a wind turbine out here or something just to kind of keep it going. So that is Ollerton. The rest of the economy over here is kind of going quite well. I did get a random fire happen over here, which burnt down our fueling station, and you can see that it's now been recovered. And what I'm going to do is just demolish that, and we're going to remove the road here, simply because what we've now got is a proper gas station. I took the opportunity of the fire burning down this to build this. So over here, most of our waste management is going along quite well. I finally managed to get this sorted out. I'm not sure. Yeah, we've got the ash management system here. So what I've done here is that because this is getting a little bit more busier, you can see it's got 22 tons of mixed waste in here, which is all ash. So what I've done is I've kind of started to get this distribution office spreading bits and pieces around here, meaning that we should be able to keep the ash being disposed, because you can see we're getting more and more waste coming in now, and of course that's going to get more and more busier as we start to bring our other towns online. Up here we've got our plastics plant is now kind of working, although we're not getting a lot in the way of plastics here. But what I'm also done is made some changes so that the mechanical components and the electro components and plastic are all being brought out here, because I do have an idea of actually building electro components plant out here or nearby, simply because we can build up the workforce in this area and then start making our own electro components as well. So I'm kind of trying to centralize them all into this area here, and that's very much a short-term project. Over here, if you watched the previous video, you will be aware that we've had a pretty bad earthquake here. This town has basically recovered. We've got a lot of workforce in here, and we have built up 2 new apartments, so we've got more workforce in this area here. I am thinking about another bus station or something up here, possibly to be able to kind of get more workforce into this area, because we're still not 100% kind of operating up here. But eventually that will change, because eventually the steel mill will go, because since the end of the last video, you can see this area has grown considerably. This started off as a kind of proof of concept for this video, and then I was just to see how things would fit together, which is one of the secrets of us YouTubers. Sometimes if we got a major project like this, what we will do is plan out everything so that it makes us look good when we actually start to do it for real, because the amount of detail in this area is quite substantial, and to try and do it on the fly is just embarrassing. So I'll be completely upfront about that. But in the end, because it took so much time to do it, I think it took me almost enough time to make 2 videos on this to get this all sorted out. And just to run you through, because of course we've previously planned our coal mine here, and we got our coal ore here, which is feeding into 2 coal processing plants, which then feeds into this coal store here. The first thing I kind of started work on was, well, I want power, so when I wanted a coal-fired power station up here, so I put it here because it should be far enough away from the town not to cause pollution. So that's the first thing that we brought in up here. So, and that's got a direct feed with an intermediary store here. This store is here simply to ensure that if the steel mill, which is over here, starts to steal too much coal, then the actual coal-fired power station will have enough support, which is why we got this kind of split effect from this store here. Ideally, I would have liked to have made this store a bit bigger, but then it occurred to me that if I'm running this efficiently, there shouldn't be that much coal in here anyway. I'm going to skip over the iron production for the moment because I just want to finish the coal supply, and then what we've got is so what we've got here now is a conveyor belt system which brings the coal to the steel mill. Also, I got a little bit carried away, and I suddenly realised that if I'm going to build a conveyor all the way out here, I might as well take it to the heating plant here. And again, I've put an intermediate store in as well. The other purpose for these intermediate stores is that to begin with, we're going to have to deliver the coal by truck. And then it occurred to me that probably the best way to keep this going would be to deliver coal by rail. So I've put this aggregate store in here. And then what you'll see is we got another store here. The reason I've got a store here is the fact that for rail distribution offices to work properly, they have to have a direct connection to the store that where they're going to receive the goods in. So what I've put in here is one for a coal, and then it occurred to me that we're not going to get enough out of the iron mill to run a steel mill. So I thought, well, I'll bring in iron as well. So we've got coal in there, iron in there. This slightly elongated conveyor belt feeds the coal back into here when it's delivered, which could mess up the production, but as long as this is kept full with the backflow into there, I can't see it being much of a problem. And then that leads us on to the iron production. So we've got our iron mine up here, which isn't particularly that big, and it's got a little intermediate store there. And again, to ensure that we get a steady supply of iron to the steel mill, we needed so we needed to build 2 iron ore processing plants, which feeds into this store, which I think is a 2,000 ton aggregate store. And then what we've got then coming out of there is another conveyor, which is a little bit of a dogleg feeding into the steel mill here. And then, of course, as I've mentioned, you've got this coming into here. Now, my original plan wasn't really to have a full-size steel mill. It was to put a small one, but I think we're going to go whole hog for this. And this is the first part of my Vanity project. And then now for a steel mill, if I show you the steel mill's got an internal storage of 150 tons. And what I've done is I put a cargo pickup here, supply steel to the local industries, which eventually will mainly consist of providing enough steel to ensure that the vehicle maintenance can go. This is another aspect. So what we're going to do is take the rail tracks from here to export steel to other parts of the map. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you. And then of course over here we've got our new town, which you can see is a little bit bigger. I've put some more flats in. Got a bit of a problem here that I forgot to switch off there. So we managed to get 81 people move into here, but there's not much I can do about it. I can't support them. The town's not ready. I just want to make sure I've got everyone. Yeah, we've got the small headquarters there. So that's the current situation. In order to get all this working really big time, bearing in mind that to run a steel mill, we will need 1,500 workers out over here at the time. We've got all these ore processing plants as well. And of course, we've also got a iron mine. If we go to that, if I show you that, that's going to need another 750 workers. And then we got a coal mine over here, which is going to need 660 workers, plus all the ancillary stuff in between, including a fire station, which is in here. So we need a transport system, which is going to, how can you put it, which is going to need to move a lot of people very quickly. Now, you could do it by buses, and that would be really cumbersome. I did consider a cableway, but the capacity of a cableway is at best is 500 workers. So I don't think that's going to get enough workers into here. So that brought it down to a choice between rail and metro. My common sense says that I should be putting in a railway connection, but the trouble is where would I put the rail station to ensure really good coverage? Then I thought, well, we're on 1939 and it's going to take quite a long time to build a metro system to get this fully operational, plus it's going to take a few years to get this built. So in the end I thought, well, why not just go all out for a metro? And I think it's very important that if you are going to use metros, you've got to plan them in early, even if you're not going to use them to begin with. So that's the reason why we're going to go for a metro. And I've done the first step in the metro, is the fact I've put a metro station here. Now, this metro station, if I show you, because it's obviously it's underground, is this one here, which has got a drop off of 600 workers. And then what I need to do is put another metro station down here. So we're going to have 2 metro stations running down through here. Then we're going to run up and connect to over here. This is going to be very much experimental because it's a little while since I've built a full-blown metro station. I know I did one in my series when I was for new players, but that was a little bit artificial. This is the real deal now, and I've got to find some way to build it. Now, before we get into actually planning the metro, I just want to talk a little bit about metro trains themselves, because there is a metro train available for an early start, but it's only available from the west, and it's also only available from large stations like this. So if I come in here just to show you, this is something you need to be very much aware of when you are planning train networks and other things. Some things are only available from large stations here, and you can see we've got a metro here. This is the London Underground. Now this is actually available from 1938 to 1988, and it's the only one that's actually available until I think I think there are other Western ones available, but the first Soviet metro doesn't become available until 1953. What's that? 14 years to build this metro. Now, and just to kind of show you, if I come back to here, despite having a rail connection here, if I click on this building here and show you here, we go here, you'll see that there is no metro listed in here. So you can't buy metro trains from a medium custom shed. They have to come from a large custom shed. That means that for me to be able to run a metro system, even in 1953, we've got to buy it from this custom shed. And if I should going to show you, there is no metro listed in here at the moment until, well, we won't have one until 1953. So that is the first constraint on building metros with early systems. And of course, the other problem is that in theory, I could buy one from the west if I've sent a road connection right down across the map, or more importantly, a rail connection. You can see that's a lot of track to lay just to buy a metro train, because the best way to deliver metro trains to where you're actually going to use them is by rail. Now, the first thing you need to understand as well is that metro trains can't run on normal track, because they actually have their own separate track options, tunnels and bridges, and also surface track. So in order to get a metro train from the border to where you want to use it, you need a depot where the metro train is, and you then got to tow the metro train using a normal train all the way to the depot. So that's the first thing you need to be aware of when you're building a metro system. So the first thing we're actually going to do, I'm just going to hide that map because we're not going to need it, is I want to put in the rail lines, because what we got to do is come over here and connect up the actual track here. In fact, what I'm going to do, yeah, I think I'm trying to work out, let me just look at the ground. I haven't done this bit. I think we're going to have to come like I originally planned through here over this road bridge. We got 2 roads to cross, and then we got to get into there. We've also got to put a power supply in, and I want that power supply near, I think we're going to put the power supply rail connection. Actually, I think I'm going to use the modded connection because we're going to be using a lot of power here. So let me just see, railway transformer. What we're going to do is we've got to put one in. Actually, no, we're not going to put that in just yet. I think we might put it over here, actually. Although we're getting a bit close to there. Right, I'm prevaricating. Now, this shouldn't be that busy a road, so... And of course, we're going to plan in concrete base. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to put a single track in, and then we'll double track it. We can come over this bridge here. This one's going to be slightly more tricky, isn't it? I think we're going to put... ideally, I normally would like the road to go over the rail, but this time we're going to have to go over the road. Yeah, I think if we cross about here, I could try and bring the track up, but okay, let me just, I think we'll just go straight in. That's it. We'll go over fairly big time here. Oops, wrong way. When you build bridges like this, it always pays to, you're going to double track it, double track both bridges first. I think we will put the power supply in here, in the modded one. I'll put it that way. It should be in range of the fire trucks. Come to think of it, I haven't actually put don't think I've actually put a fire station in here. Let me just, that might be, no, there's concrete. Yeah, there's no fire station in here at the moment. I think what we'll do is we'll put the fire station about here. Actually, we can put the fire station. We need to cover the heating plant. So I think we'll put, actually, so this is a big, good, nice piece of serendipity. I think I want the fire station in range. And we're going to put you kind of out here. I want you in range of those. Yeah, I think if we put you about there, you're in range of the heating plant, so you won't get cold. We can make sure you're in range of water and sewage as well. Something else I've got to put in. But I want to do this, and that means that this will definitely provide the fire coverage and protect this area here. So now, one thing I do need to do is make sure these connections work properly. So I've had a few problems with the power connections. Oh, bring this back a bit. Actually, what I could do is we'll just remove a shift. We will, let's say this road, it isn't quite so important to do that. And we will, because this line could get quite busy later on. Just make sure. I think where actually come from. Yeah, I think we've got it correct at this time round. And you're going to connect to there. So we've now got this station here. You've got to come off like that. Now, we've got to connect to the steel mill. I think we'll do that first. A nice straight track into there. And of course, we're going to need a crossover. The steel mills with respect to long trains is not too bad because if I show you the measurement, the train is here. Oops. No. Basically, well, to be generous, you can see that we can get out to about here. Now, another thing about steel mills is that trains will actually run through them, but that's not quite so important. So I think we can put the crossover there. Now, the next thing we've got to do is come out of here and make this connection. Again, we've got a nice long terminal here, so what we can do is just come out like that. And we could probably put this one's going to be a little bit on the curve, but that's going to be okay. And then we're going to run down here like that, and then we'll run you into there like that, and we'll just accept that. So that gives us the rail connection there to here, which will bring in the coal and iron to here, and also we can be able to take away the steel here for our distribution system. Most likely, actually, I think I will do this as well while I'm thinking about it. See, we've got this here. This would be an ideal place. Rail distribution. If we could get it here, let me just put this in as well. Get a train distribution. A little bit big. We could be a little bit cheeky here. Again, this, I'm very tempted to rebuild this road. And then I think actually, because we got this section here, I think what we will do is, again, it's going to be a little bit risky. But if I put the train distribution office about there, and then you can come off this side, you can come off this side, and of course what we're going to need is a crossover on this side, because if we deliver wagons to this station, we will need for the train that does the delivery to be able to return this side. Oh, great. Okay. What I'm going to do here, I think we can just sneak you in before that road there. Don't like this. We don't need that road just at the moment, because we got that road there and nothing's really coming through here. This is just a general connection. So if I, well, no. Back, please. Delete. We'll just remove you. And what I will do eventually is rebuild this section of road, and we'll put a bridge in. So the road will go over the track. I will, again, I'm just going to put an asphalt road in here. Just protecting this will be very important. Just run you in there as well. But I don't want this built, so just make sure that doesn't get built. That also applies to this at the moment, because we're going to take control. So we've now put in the normal rail. Now comes the fun bit, because we've got to design the metro. Now I'm going to start at this end, because as I say, I've already got this metro station in here. And this is going to be the underground section of the metro, because it says metro doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be completely underground, because there are other options. So what we're going to do is come in here. Oops, that's what am I doing? Yep. Now, one thing you need to be aware with these metro stations, because there's two types of underground metro station. You've got this one, and then you've got one, which I can never find. It says without an entrance, like this. Now, one thing you do need to be aware of when you're planning this one is particularly, is that the distances it shows are from the road connection, which is the center of the metro station. The passengers do not come up the road, because it says here metro station without an entrance. And what that actually means is that if I plan this, say for example I plan this, I've got to put in the actual physical metro connections, and that distance is also part of the distance they got to walk. So to be honest, this one is the better station to do, because you can still, because what you've got here is, what I'm trying to get is to make sure this one is in range of the coal mine here. So what I'm doing is I want to put that about there. like that. Now, if I go underground, what you can do is if you come to footpaths, and where is it? There's one that says metro with escalators, which I really like. It's quite a cool looking building. Almost impractical, but we're not talking practical here. What we'll do is we'll put, now when you're planning metro, if you're going to use these underground kind of exits, make sure that you put these in first, because they are between the tracks there. So and that needs to be kind of done straight away. Now if I come above ground again and show you, if I show you here, you can see that they come out this distance here, and we will get people come out here, but it doesn't actually go, it's not particularly very useful. I mean, where the same, you can get the same distance from this area here. Now, of course, eventually, in fact, I could probably put it in now because the road's been built. We will need a footpath. Oh, I can get through there. Oh, yeah, good. And you can come there. So what this means is this metro station will cover all the essentials in this area. Just make sure it comes to there. So the first bit of underground metro line we can put in, and what you need is the tunnel, and we're just going to come out. In fact, I think this one can curve out this way, but this one here, this is what I was saying about. Now this is going to be a problem. I had a feeling it would be. Just make sure that actually is going to connect. Yeah, it's the tunnels in the way. Yeah, it's the tunnel because we're coming off on a curve. Probably the escalator is a little bit too far away. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is try and come in, because I would like to have a pedestrian access here. So I think what we're going to have to do is just have a normal pair of metro stairs there. And then that will come up there. Because what we've got to do, if I can find we've got to come up there. Now, then we've got to come up this way. Generally, the metros will follow each other once you've got one going, but be aware that that will connect to that one there, like that. And then if we come above ground and just redo this, just make sure. Yep. So we've now got a metro line to here. Now, the thing about metros is that the trains don't turn around in the stations. What you've got to do is put an end station in, which comes under depots. Now, there's two types of end station. There's one on the surface, and then there's one actually, I think that's the surface one. That's the ground level one. Yeah, so this is the one that we need. And what you've got to do is kind of put that there, like that. And then you run those into there like that. And what happens now is the metro train will come down here, stop here, and to turn round, it turns round in the end station. So we've now got this connection here. And what we've got to do now is come out above ground over here. We need to come above ground past the railway. So let me just see where we've got to go. So we've got to come out from here. And we're only using this metro station. I've actually kind of planned it so that we don't need to put an end terminal here because it doesn't go anywhere. All the key functional buildings are in range of this one here. So I don't need to put out anything at this end because you can see there's lots of junk under here anyway. Now, so what we got to do now is back to the metro tunnel. And I want to come here, head for there. And once you get to when you want to come above ground, you just press the E key. And then eventually you will see it turns to this little building here. And then again, we're just going to run you there. And that will come up. So what that means is we've now got the metro above ground. And I've just made a mistake in the sense. Now, if you come back to here, you will see that we actually get a metro railway, which I'm just going to do a short little link there, just as a marker. So just to recap, I know you can't, it's a bit more difficult to see now. This is why I've made a bit of a mistake by actually correcting it. But what we've got now is we've got the metro starts here. We've got lots and lots of tunnels. Now, building these tunnels, if I show you here, tunnels have a phenomenal amount of workforce. They don't take up that much in the way of resources. But you can see there that we have 5,777 workdays just to build that tunnel. Now, the game does provide tunneling machines. But if I remember correctly, you won't see the tunneling machine until about 1970. So effectively, these underground tunnels here are going to have to be built by normal construction trains, which will take a very long time. And I'm going to emphasize a very long time. That's the reason why I'm coming above ground here. Simply because actually I could, let me just cancel that. I've just had an idea. We're going to demolish that. See if we can kind of reduce the amount of as I said at the beginning of the video, this is what I'm just going to give this a go. We're going to press the E key, get these above ground quickly as possible. I'm going to put in a very short length of track. Now, you actually look at underground track. I know it's a bit difficult to see. It's easier when I draw it. You'll see that this track is different from the actual rail track. So normal trains can't run on metro trains. Okay, I'm just going to see if I can get over this track. In theory, it should do. Let me just. Okay, I'm just gonna. If not, we're gonna have to go back to. Wow, that's a bit spectacular, isn't it? I can get you up over here like that. And then, so that gets you up over here. Now, elevated track is actually easier to build than tunnels. Tunnels are a real pain if you don't have a tunneling machine. Yeah, I think that will work. So if we can get you over there. Now, there's a reason why I've brought this down to the ground. In fact, that's given me an idea for up here. Because originally I was going to put actually a underground section in, but we've got you there and we've got you above ground. Now the let me see for the elevated section. That gives us a top speed of 135 kilometers an hour. The actual metro railway is 100, which is the surface metro, which is only 100 kilometers an hour. That's not a major problem because I think the average speed of most metro trains, especially, is about 100 or less. I think the early metro trains, just got to go and have a look. Sorry about this. I think the metro train that's available at the moment, which is the London Underground, the top speed is only 70 kilometers an hour. Because technically metros are more about capacity than speed. In fact, again, I didn't show it. Sorry about this. If I show you here, I think, yeah, even the London Tube is capable of carrying 328 passengers. Some of the later metros can carry up to about 500 passengers a time. So metros are very much high capacity. Now, my original plan was to put 2 underground stations, but I'm changing that plan a little bit. I think what we're going to do is, let me just remove that from there. I'm going to pick up, oops. I think I'm going to bring a road out to there and run you round here like that. So we're going to create a kind of inner ring road type effect. Bring it forward a little bit further, and we'll bring you round like that and bring you into there. What we've got, I've created this ring road. Now we've got to run the metro in that direction. So I think I'm planning on putting some residences here. So basically we're not going to grow the town this way because we got the heating plant over there. Plus I've got another possible idea for some backup industry in this area. So what we're going to do is probably grow the town in this area. So what we're going to do is we've got a lot. I'm kind of thinking if we say we put one like that. Now this is an elevated. It's a bit difficult to see, but if I zoom in with the actual thing, you can see this is actually an elevated metro station, and the reason for using this will become apparent. I think yeah, I think if we put you on this corner here with a slight angle like that, that will actually, we can maybe pull you back a little smidge, and then actually just had a thought. I'm going to take you back that way, push you through like that, bring you up like that, so we actually create a proper junction there. Because I want to also possibly build out this way. So if we yeah, say we put you here like that, put you there. How far? What's your coverage like? Yeah, I mean, these aren't connected simply because they've got no footpath to there, but eventually they will have a footpath there. We could probably put a footpath there to bring on more that way, and we can expand that way. So the next thing we got to is hook you from there to, oops, no, I want to keep you together if possible. So what we've got here is an elevated section. The next thing we've got to do now is get down off of here, because there are no elevated end connections that on the ground. So what we need to do now is put in this is a surface level end station. I'm gonna put you here. So if I can get you like that, just line you up there. Don't think these have come all the way to the ground. Okay, let me just cancel those. You've got to connect into here. So this is the end station. So we'll just accept that. This is so when the metro trains get to this end, they turn around here. We're gonna have to just put a gravel road here. I don't think we need. Now, one thing I do need to consider is maintenance. Now, to be completely upfront, I've got absolutely no idea how maintenance actually works with metro systems, but I'm working on the same concept as with bus lines. Now, bus lines are maintained by putting a vehicle repairs building next to where the end connection is. So what I'm thinking is if we can find, I think put a small one in. Ideally, I'd like it. It won't do it that way. I don't want it that side. If we put, actually, curiosity. I won't put it here. I'm just wondering. Yeah, it will do it. I think I'd rather have it over here because we're going to have a lot of buses and other activities over here, aren't we? Yeah, what we're going to have to do is reserve this corner for, yeah, we'll have to put you there. Okay, so we can hook you into there and we can get that set up as well. Just suspend that, suspend that, suspend that. I don't want the distraction. Okay, so we've now got our elevated section here, and we've got to connect up with this elevated section here. So what we need to do is come back to here, which means we've got to come off with a curve and aim for about there. So elevated section, drop down to the ground as quickly as possible. So that gets you to the ground there. And of course, by doing all this on the surface like this, it should make it easier to build it. Oops, that's not even closely in the right direction. See if we can do it in one go, because obviously we want this as straight as possible. Now, that besides the fact that it's easier and cheaper to build, there is another reason. Okay, what's going on here? I think this bit of section is not playing fairly. Okay, well, Try again. That's connected to there. Now I'm going to leave this in template mode. So what we've actually done now is created the line. Now comes the fun bit, because we've created the line and we've now got our 2 stations here, which should be more than enough for our metro pickup. Now what we've got to do is build a depot and also provide a connection for the rail construction trains to get here to actually build the what we call it, the actual metro line. So the first thing we're going to need to do now, and this is the reason why I wanted to do this on the surface, because at the end of the day, if you are building a metro line, you can the only way that metro lines can actually cross is by when they're on the surface, because they act like normal train tracks to a certain degree. Where's the rail track? The rail track's over there. Actually, we could probably aim in that direction, can't we? We don't. I think if we trim this back. Now, the track I'm building at the moment is purely service track. It's not really intended for normal trains to run. This serves 2 purposes. One purpose is to be able to build the tracks. The second purpose is to actually provide a depot, because obviously to set the routes up we actually need a depot. Now the first thing we're going to do is come here. So to set the depot up, you just need a normal depot like this. So we're going to put you there. Actually, I think we're going to change this a little bit. I'm just going to trim you back a little bit like this. And we're going to put the depot in line like this. And we'll run the, whoops, metro rail. Oh, this is an end station. Sorry. Built the wrong building. Yeah, you've got to be very careful that you get the right buildings. That's what I'm looking for. Actually, I need some more space. This isn't going to work. Just I think what we'll do is we'll build it the opposite way round. I need a normal depot, road facing that way, and the depot needs to be far enough away like that. And then what we've got to do is, now you need, there's another thing I haven't put in as well, which we're gonna have to put in. We're gonna have to come off here. We're going to put now this is normal trail track. Yeah, we need normal rail track in order to show the trains. Now on this side we've got to bring out metro track. That's it. Now technically you can get away with just having this like that, and then we can, what we want to do is just come here. Oops, no. Well, cancel. Metro track can be a little bit tetchy, but there's not much you can do about it. You can come there. This one didn't connect. That's okay. We can take you out there. And you can connect to there. So just to recap, you've got normal track coming in one end of the depot, metro track coming out the other end of the depot. Now, the one thing I've forgotten to put in, which is underground electric railway. There's underground railroad connector. Yeah, I need to break this. I think I can get away with a surface one here. Because power doesn't translate between electric rail and all this, so you've actually got to put in a rail connector. That's an underground one. That's an underground one. And what we got to do, I think the normal rail connector. I don't really like the idea of having it that far away from buildings. I wonder if I can sneak it in here. Just sneak you back this way. This could get messy. Okay, I think we can sneak you in there. Yeah, get you in there, and then I think we'll extend the road out this way. Actually, we'll just bring the road out and hook you in like that. Yeah, I think that will work. That will give us power to the metro. Oh, this is giving me a bit of a headache. So what we've built so far is the actual metro line and the ability to put metro trains on it. Now, the next problem you've got is, because we're in realistic mode and we're going to manually build the track, because if you were not playing in realistic mode, this isn't sufficient, because you could auto build the track. Construction trains will not pass through depots. So what you've got to do now is come here. I think we can we need to bring you off here. Now, this track is only really for the construction trains, and we can come to about there. And this is the one time that you can actually connect track to a metro line. And I think the game actually tells you, if I do that again just to show you. And you can see here it actually says only track building trains can move on a metro rail crossing. So this bit of track here is exclusively for the actual track layers, so that they can bypass the actual depot. Just put you to there. I don't know why I'm actually no, we don't really need a asphalt road here, because this is just a service connection. There's no point going over the top, so put you there. Yeah, so what we've got now is, just to recap, we've got our metro line here. Now, the construction trains, when they finally get out here, can build most of this reasonably quickly, especially once we get a better track. The fun will start when we get down to here with the actual connectors, because you can see that the length of time, oops, that's the steel mill, you can build the steel mill quicker. You can see 4,500 work days, and this is 5,800 work days. So the real time is going to be taken up by actually doing these actual buildings. I'm just going to suspend you as well. I suspended you. I don't want any of this built just at the moment. You can build that if you want, because I want the energy to go into building these buildings and getting the infrastructure going. Probably to begin with, we're probably going to have to man the fire station from over here. So we'll probably need to look at increasing the population over here. And I think we've now got what we need to do. So we're just going to accept all that. As I say, this little bit here is not going to be a major problem for when the time comes to lay, when the normal train is running, simply because this won't actually, this will be very rarely ever used, especially this section after the track's been built. In fact, you could technically demolish this afterwards, but I tend to just leave it there just in case there's an issue. I think we've got everything we need to do. Apologies if I've given you guys a bit of a headache, because it is, like, building metros is a pretty big thing. And I think we can just let the game start to run now and roll forward a little bit. Yeah, it is quite a big thing to actually build these metro systems. And with respect to realistic mode, they are a massive commitment to getting everything done. But I feel that this is the only way to get this going long term. Obviously, in the short term, we're probably going to have to build a bus platform, or alternatively, you can build these and then use these as bus platforms. But the trouble is you don't get much of a pickup by the buses. But probably to start with, in fact, I think I'll put one in while I'm actually thinking about it. We're going to need probably the biggest bus platform that we can find. There's one here. We'll probably start with a bus platform here. Yeah, this is what we're going to probably need to do, is use actual buses to begin with. Probably drop you off there. And of course, one thing we will need to do is put in a large bus end connection on this side as well. Is it that side or this side? No, it's this side, isn't it? I'll put a bus end connection large here. Actually, no, we can probably put it out here like that, next to the fire station, because we're going to need this to maintain our vehicles and also make sure the spacing. So I'll come here. In fact, what I might do is we'll upgrade those to asphalt. So to begin with, what we'll be doing is using buses, and we'll have to bring in possibly workforce from here to support what we're trying to do while we're actually building all this infrastructure in. But as you can see, we've got a lot to build. Anyway, guys, I'm aware that that's probably gone on a lot longer than it should have done. So this is where I'm going to leave it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it interesting. Any questions about building metros and the risks and anything, or anything you don't understand, feel free to chuck it in the video description. So, and until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.